just wrapped around my foot.
Aguas, 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 cuidado.
My name is Cyril Chauquet, and I spend my life traveling the world, chasing monster fish. And that's exactly why I'm here on the west coast of Mexico. The water in this region of the Pacific Ocean is known for its great population of billfish.
Yeah.
Anglers from around the world come to Zihuatanejo, hoping to land a monster sailfish.
Pica, 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 pica algo.
But this comes with its own set of problems.
Cuidado, cuidado.
Having been clocked at 68 miles per hour, sailfish are known for their explosive speed and amazing jumps that sometimes put fishermen in dangerous situations, especially for the locals, who fish with nothing but a handline. Injuries, cuts, and even lost fingers are all part of the risks of this technique, and the fishermen from around here have seen it all.
Esto que vemos aquí es como un cuchillo.
I want to fish like the true local fishermen do. And even if I know the dangers involved with handlining for sailfish, I'm gonna take my chances.
Cuidado, cuidado.
The story of the old man and the sea has always fascinated me. One fish, one man, joined together by a simple line, a hand line. I've caught big fish on hand lines before, and let me tell you, when you're fighting something like a big bull shark, it's extremely violent and almost unstoppable. But with the sailfish, it's like holding on to a torpedo.
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
There's even stories out there of fishermen getting tangled up and pulled out of their boats or even getting their fingers cut off. And I just hope that everything will be all right and I'll be able to leave here with all my body parts. The west coast of Mexico is one of the best places in the world for billfish angling, especially around the town of Zihuatanejo. Located around 130 miles up the coast from Acapulco, Zihuatanejo has always been a sleepy fishing village until recently. Since the 70s, the population went from 7 to 65,000 people because of tourism, and the fishing in the area is still really good. I'm here to land a sailfish on a handline, and there's no better place to find someone to do this with than the local fish market. Most anglers come here to fish on big charter boats, but that's not what I want to do this time. I want to fish like the locals do, with a strict minimum, a small boat known here as a Panga and a handline. No rods, no reels, and no belts, just my hands holding a line, and at the end of it, a raging billfish, just like the old man in the sea. I definitely seem to be in the right spot. Some locals show up with the fish that I'm looking for.
Anda mucho?
Poquito.
Cerca, cerca. It's pretty good. At least there's some sailfish around.
But if I want to catch a sailfish on a handline, I'm gonna have to start by finding someone who will bring me out to the fishing grounds. Easier said than done.
There's something weird here, you know, that I'm not getting normally, and I've done it a million times. You go see a fisherman, you ask him to take you out, and usually they're really happy to do so. They just take you out fishing, come back, and everybody's happy. But here, you know, I've asked a few guys, and they're like, oh, and they're all like, no, no, no. Every time I mention the handline, especially, they're like, no, 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 I can't take you out. It's like they know that it's really risky, and they don't want to be responsible for an accident with a gringo on their boat.
But these guys don't know that I've fought quite a few fish on handlines before. I've even caught sharks on a remote island of the South Pacific. There, the local fishermen insisted that I catch one to get accepted in their group. After a bit more searching on the beach, I find a man who tells me that the fishing in this town is controlled by a group of elders, and I need their blessing to be able to fish like the locals do. After offering a couple drinks, the elders accept to have a talk.
La pesca que hacían antes era como la pesca de artesanal, como la historia de Hemingway, del viejo y el mar.
Sí, el viejo y el mar.
Así es,
Sí, así
de la canoa.
These guys have been handlining for years, and they know the risks.
Esto que vemos aquí es como un cuchillo. Esto te corta un dedo, una mano, te puedes perder hasta la mano entera con este tipo de...
After insisting on the dangers of handlining, one of the elders decides to share a story that scarred him for life.
And that is one crazy story what he's telling me here. He was out at sea on his own, trolling with a small boat, small motor, and a lot of line on the floor. That's his mistake, actually. There was way too much line on the floor from what he's telling me. And yeah, he was holding the line like this, because that's what you do when you're trolling. You hold the line to feel the bite.
but the bite was so powerful that Sailfish hit so hard that he had to let go of the line. So much line was left on the boat, like I told you, that the line got wrapped around his ankle as the fish pulled the other direction. So when the fish was pulling the other direction, the boat was still moving there because he couldn't get to the motor to stop the engine. So basically the boat was moving. He was wrapped up by the ankle, being pulled, almost being pulled overboard. He got really lucky that the line ended up breaking, but it still got scarred for life. Pretty intense what can happen when you're with a handline.
After telling me about all the bad things that could happen, the elders finally accept to let me go handlining with a respected local fisherman called Martin.
Man, those guys freaked me out with their stories there. This actually might be more dangerous than I thought. All right, this is it. Sailfish on a handline. Let me tell you, there's something weird about going fishing without fishing rods. Just a backpack and my hands.
Getting on the water with no fishing rods actually reminds me of the time that I went noodling for catfish in Oklahoma, and my hands took some serious punishment.
God, look at my hands. Martín, eres Martín, ¿no?
Sí.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Los viejos me dijeron que quieres sacar un vela a mano.
Sí, a mano, vela. Eso es.
Once in the boat, I get this weird feeling of emptiness.
Oye, ¿te molesta si voy a buscar mi caña?
Bueno, pero si nos vamos a pescar a mano, es un día de pesca a mano, ¿no?
Sí, pero...
I really want to handline a sailfish, but it's just too weird for me to go out without at least a rod and a few lures.
Ahora sí.
Ahora sí, listo.
Sí.
Ah, bueno.
It's a handline fishing day, but at least I have a fishing rod on the boat. I feel much better about it now.
On the way out of the bay, I noticed some action on the water.
Oye, mira, Jurel. Son Jurel, sí, cazando. ¿Vamos?
Vamos. ¿Quieres probar?
Sí, con línea a mano.
Castea una, a ver si sacas, a ver qué tan bueno eres para castear.
I gotta make at least a couple of casts to see if I can catch one.
Fish on. It feels good to catch a Jack Crevalle on a fishing rod just before I go for a fish on a handline.
This jack is just about 20 pounds, and yet he has a lot of fight.
You see the fight of this fish on a fishing rod? Imagine a sailfish on a handline.
Puedes sacar el pez.
Con línea a mano.
Línea a mano, a ver.
Después.
Weighing up to 220 pounds, more than 10 times this jack, pulling in a sailfish with my bare hands is not gonna be easy.
Not ready yet. Yes. Woohoo! ¿Es buena esta?
Sí. Buena caranga.
Man, I love Jack Crevalles. They fight so hard. Such a powerful fish. They're great. And this guy is the exact same family as the Atlantic version of the Jack. But what I've noticed is that in the Atlantic, their fins are more yellow, whereas here in the Pacific, they're more grayish. And you hear that sound that they make? It's caused by their pharyngeal teeth that they have in the back of the throat. And they make that sound when they're in distress. Such as here, I guess, on the boat, but don't worry, buddy. I'm gonna put you back in the water, so no worries.
Once we're back on the way out, I quickly realized that we're actually following the shoreline instead of heading out to the open sea. And I know that we won't find any sailfish following the coast. These fish are pelagic. That means they live in the open sea.
Pero ¿por qué no vamos ahí? Al mar, ¿no?
No, vamos, te voy a llevar primero a sacar un jurel o un gallo a mano para que practiques.
Pero después al vela.
Después al vela.
¿Me furras?
Vamos a sacar un jurel.
I'm pretty sure I was set up by the elders here. He's telling me that he wants to test me inshore with some roosters or jacks before he can take me out, you know, catching a sailfish on a handline. And in a way, I understand though, because, you know, like sailfish, catching a sailfish on a handline is pretty intense, you know, so I understand why the elders would have told him to actually take me catching a rooster or a jack. But even those things though, a Jack Crevalle or a rooster fish on a handline, let me tell you, it's going to be quite a fight.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to prove myself before I can go for a sailfish on a handline.
It's going to be pretty intense. fighting a jack crevalle or rooster fish on such a small line. You know, that's going to be quite something.
But at least, I think we found a good spot. There's a reef here, and there should be some predators around.
All right, that's pretty impressive. These islands are white like this because of the guano. Millions of years of guano deposit on the islands made them entirely white.
Martin is very confident about this spot, so we start trolling around the island. And it doesn't take long before I get my first bite.
All right, here we go. Yeah. Aquí tengo. Aquí. Oh, yes, fish.
But the fish I'm fighting here isn't very big or strong for that matter. I just hope it'll be enough to satisfy Martin.
A needlefish. Not sure that counts as a fish that'll get me out there for sailfish, but I'll give it a shot. Eso vale, ¿no? Una aguja.
Mira, lo que saca es una aguja. Eso no vale.
Hey, es un pez.
Siente que te corta el dedo.
He says no, you need one that cuts your fingers off.
Well, I guess I have no other choice but to keep on fishing.
El wahoo debe ser loco, una pelea de...
El atún, el marlin.
El marlin. ¿Sacaste marlin con línea, man?
Wow, can you imagine? He's caught a marlin on a handline. Not a very big one, about 300 pounds, but still. That would be quite a fight. Let me tell you, if I can catch a sailfish on this, the next step up would be a marlin. It's exactly what Santiago, in The Old Man and the Sea, that's what he caught, a marlin. But first, I need to catch a fish. Any fish will do. Otherwise, these guys will never take me out for the big boys.
I'm a very persistent fisherman, but not so patient. So I decide to pull out my rod and do a couple of casts while leaving my handline in the water. Who knows, I might even land another jack or even a rooster fish.
This handline thing is getting a little long, you know? Feels good to make a few casts. Woohoo!
Hey, Cyril, ven. Aquí.
Sí.
¿Tienes uno? Rápido, rápido. Hey, la caña,
With all the excitement, I missed the rod holder, and my rod fell out of the boat and sunk straight to the bottom. I don't like losing gear, plus this rod and reel have been around the world with me, and I consider them priceless. There's no way that I'm losing them.
No la ves, ¿no? No la puedo ver.
Súmete más. Otro clavado más.
Sí, oh, man. I can't see it. It's really deep here, and there's a lot of current underneath. ¿Y el pez se te fue?
Se desganchó.
Se desenganchó? Ah, we lost it all. We lost the fish. He broke him off. But I'm not losing this rod. There's no way I'm leaving this rod here. ¿Mascara? ¿No tiene? No?
No traigo, no tengo.
No.
At about 25 feet deep with no mask on, it's really hard to see. But all of a sudden, I see something shiny. It's gotta be my reel.
Hey, Cyril, ¿qué? ¿Ya tienes la caña?
Aquí, mira.
Oh, buena suerte.
Eso es buena caña, no la quería perder, amigo.
I lost the fish on a handline, but at least I got my rod back. Martin's patience is starting to wear out, and if I don't land a fish soon, my chances to go handlining for sailfish will be gone. But finally, I get a bite.
Oh, pica algo.
Dale.
Sí.
Dale.
Yeah. Fish on.
Dale.
Bang. Hooked up on a Dorado. That's a Dorado I have at the end of the line there.
The whipping sound is actually the line going through my hands and burning my fingers every time the fish tries to get away.
Really gotta watch out not to get tangled up in the line, the loose line on the boat there. If you think this fish is pulling, that's nothing compared to a sailfish. Yeah. Dorado on a handline.
I don't care about the pain. It's a good-sized Dorado, and I'm gonna bring it in no matter what. This fish is what I need to prove to Martin that I'm ready for a sailfish on a handline.
Let me tell you, when that fish starts pulling like that, you really fit it. That cracks him up.
Every time I feel the line ripping through my hands, I can't stop thinking about what it's going to be like with a sailfish. After all, it's only the fastest fish in the ocean.
Just to get this fish on the boat, and I think I'll have my approval for sailfish on the handline. Yeah. Woo. Ahora puedo ir al pez vela.
Claro, vamos a verla ahora.
Bonita, ¿eh?
Bonita.
Beautiful mai, female mai.
Lo vamos a comer ese pez.
¿Lo quieres?
Me lo quiero comer, sí.
¿Te la quieres comer ahora?
Claro.
He wants to eat it right
Vamos
now.
a comer right now. Dame 5.
Gracias, amigo.
I never even realized that my finger got caught on the line during the fight. But who cares? It was worth it. I'm pretty sure that the others will give me their approval to go out for a sailfish on a handline tomorrow.
I would have loved to release this little Dorado, but Dorado and Mai, it's almost impossible to release in front of, people that love to eat this fish. It's one of the best tasting fish.
That's pretty cool. I think I got his full respect now. I'm even driving his boat while I was preparing something really nice there.
A good fresh ceviche isn't hard to make. Strips of fish, onions, a little salt, some peppers, a lot of lime juice so the citric acid cooks the meat. And here we go, a quick and tasty meal.
Buen día.
Oh, ¿qué pasa? Ah, la cortada.
Today, I head back to the elders and they tell me that I have their blessing to go handlining for sailfish. But I have to wait 2 days before an outing is possible. But in the end, this turns out to be a good thing because that little cut that I got while fighting the Dorado has infected. And the pain is starting to be really intense.
Nos podemos dar cuenta que tiene una infección.
She's got a little tackle box, Barbie style. Pink and all. That's cute.
Her tools might be cute, but let me tell you, they really hurt.
I think I would have liked it better had she cut me straight, without the shot, the anesthesia.
I can't wait to go handlining for sailfish, but this 2-day wait is gonna make me go crazy. I think I'm gonna have to find a charter boat to bring me out so I can try to catch one on the fly rod and show you just how fast and strong these fish are.
Even though you've been in a car at 60 plus miles an hour, let me tell you, it's really hard to imagine how fast a sailfish is. And actually, one of the best ways for me to show you how fast these fish are would have been to catch it on a fly rod, especially because I love catching sailfish on a fly rod, and you would see that reel spin like crazy. Then you would really have an idea of how fast they are. But the problem, I lost my flies on the way here.
Number on your plane receipt.
Can't believe it. I forgot the flies, my fly box.
It feels like everything is trying to stop me from going fishing. But building a fly shouldn't be a problem.
Here at the local market, they should have everything I need.
So let's see if I'll be able to find what I need to make a homemade fly. I need something that will grab the attention of a sailfish, and chicken feathers should be a pretty good start.
Hola, hola. Plumas de pollo, ¿no tienen? Got the eggs. The chickens shouldn't be too far. Hola, señora. Hola. ¿Cómo está? Bien. Pluma de pollo tiene? ¿Seguro? No, en la tienda no hay.
Creo que sí.
Sí, eso es. Perfecto. Yes. She's got feathers all over the floor, actually. Exactamente lo que necesito. Sí. Gracias. Muchísimas gracias. Me salvaste la vida. Ciao.
One more stop at a local bar, and I should have everything I need.
Generally, sailfish hunt prey close to the surface, and corks float. So you see where I'm going with this?
I think that now I should be able to build a fly that will work just fine for sailfish.
All right, it's nice to get some comfort for once. I usually like the more traditional kind of boats. The Pangas, local style boats like over there. The fisherman's village there. That's where I want to fish.
Don't get me wrong, I like sitting in a comfortable chair. But right now, I really want to be with the local fishermen. I respect these guys. The conditions and equipment they fish with, and the fact that fishing is all they do, makes them true hardcore fishermen. Just like Santiago in The Old Man and the Sea. I've already caught a huge sailfish on a rod from a small boat, and I can tell you one thing, it's not easy. The boat is rocking non-stop, it's hard to stand up, and you can easily fall overboard. I can just imagine how it's gonna be with a handline. So today, I'm gonna kick back, relax, and enjoy the comfort and safety of the charter boat.
At least it'll give me a chance to catch a lot of fish here on this boat, I hope. And show you the speed of the fish. Show you how fast those fish are. You'll see the reel spinning like crazy. I'll give you an idea of what I'm gonna get into later on while handlining.
Today's conditions are perfect. The sky is beautiful and the wind is calm. But that doesn't mean it's gonna be easy. Hooking a sailfish on a fly is one of the hardest things to do in the world of fishing. Everything has to be perfect. The fish has to follow the teasers right to the back of the boat, and the fly has to land just in front of its bill. Sounds easy, but it's not.
Come on.
I really want to show you the speed and power of a sailfish. But before anything is gonna happen, I need to build a fly.
The feathers that I put here and through some slits in the back, they add some texture. So basically it's like the tail of the animal, the squid or the fish that I'm mimicking. It's not mimicking much, but I hope it'll catch a fish. The idea of the cork is not only for the fly to float, to stay on top, because the sailfish are really attracted to what stays on top of the surface, but it's also to act a little bit as a popper. So when I strip, you know, the line will be running through the cork, and as I strip this fly, when I move it on top of the water, this front part is flat, so it'll act as a popper, so it'll make some distressed sound, so sort of like poof, poof.
Just like a fly that I used in Guatemala.
Just hope it's a good year. Smells good.
The crew members are not convinced that my fly will work. But honestly, as long as the action on the surface is good, I think I should get a bite.
Just like the pros, except for that. They just put another set of teasers in the back of the boat right here. Big, big teasers. The idea is to bring the sailfish attention to the back of this boat. Because until they come and attack the teasers, I can't do anything. They gotta start attacking the bait so that the guys can bring me the sailfish here for me to be able to cast a fly and hopefully hook it. And then you'll see that reel start spinning like crazy.
Last time I caught a sailfish on a fly rod, things went great, but I had a real fly.
Sailfish on. Come on. I am so ready, you have no idea.
After 3 hours of trolling, there hasn't been the slightest sign of a sailfish.
Ven, ven. ¿Dónde está?
With a full moon 2 days ago, what was worrying me seems to be happening. Most predator fish feed during the moonlight and become less active during the day.
I just want a sailfish right here so I can... Oh, yeah.
Even with the intense heat and no action at all, things could be worse. Last time I was in Guatemala, we ended up stuck in the middle of the ocean.
Look, we're stuck in a long line.
Long lines are very long ropes to which many baited hooks are attached. We had to untangle the line from the propellers among the sharks. They were attracted by all the bait, and let me tell you, this was a bad situation.
Prueba esto. Chile serrano.
Pero muy fuerte eso, ¿no? Muy poquito. Muy poquito. Pruébalo. Yeah, right. Un poquito.
Through my travels around the world, I've tasted some weird things, even worms that grow in nutshells.
Esse tem coco dentro.
Muito bom, mas o gosto.
Muito gostoso.
And now, the crew wants me to eat a pepper for good luck. At this point, why not?
Well, I really hate to have to do that, but we have to bring in the teasers, the hookless teasers, and put some hooks on some bait, you know, in the back of the boat because we're not getting anything right. Oh, sailfish! Mira.
I have to get my fly in the water as fast as I can, because I only have a couple of seconds before the sailfish loses interest in the teasers.
Oh, he's going for it. He's going for the fly. He's going. Ah! Come on. Eat that. Take it. Come on. Woohoo! Yeah! Woohoo! Woohoo! Beautiful. I start seeing colors, man. Vámonos. Ah! Zihuatanejo.
They can't believe I caught this fish with my homemade fly, the corkscrew fly. Man, I thank that guy that had that bottle of wine last night. I think I'm gonna have one tonight. Woo! Yeah. Es fuerte ese.
Grande, grande.
Now you understand how fast these fish are? Imagine with a handline. Aquí, vera. And I got him. You got him? Yeah. Woo-hoo. Pez vela a la mosca. A la mosca hecha aquí. Yeah. Yes. Sailfish caught on a homemade fly, the corkscrew fly. Let's put him back. Gave it a lot of its energy, so that's why right now it's a little tired. He looks good. He's good to go.
After a long day in the sun, I finally caught a sailfish on a fly rod, and I'm really happy that I was able to show you the power and speed of this fish. But I can't stop myself from thinking about the crazy stories of handlining sailfish.
Esto que vemos aquí es como un cuchillo.
Every time my reel would go crazy, I was imagining holding the line in my hands. And this makes me nervous because tomorrow, it's my turn with a handline.
It was so cool to catch a sailfish on the corkscrew fly. I couldn't believe it, but it took it, and in a way, whatever floats in the back of that boat at that moment where the fish comes to the back, I was pretty sure it was gonna hit it, and it did. There's something about sailfish that I love. They're beautiful, so efficient predators. They use that sail-like dorsal fin to act as a wall, and they circle around the bait to push them into a ball, and that's what we call a bait ball. And then once they have a concentrated bait ball, they go one by one into the bait ball with their bill, and boom, boom, and they stun the fish or they kill the bait fish, and then they only have to grab them and eat them.
Tonight, all of Mexico is celebrating the Lady Guadalupe. This is a national event that you don't want to miss. People from everywhere join up to parade and play music in the streets. They also lay out flowers and effigies of the Virgin Mary in front of the churches to receive her blessing. With what I'm gonna do tomorrow, maybe a prayer or two wouldn't be a bad idea.
There's something about street food I love. For some reason, it's the only place to me, in my opinion, that you get the real taste of the country's food. Muy rico.
After a little bit of street food, it's straight to bed for me, because tomorrow is the day that I catch a sailfish on a handline.
All right, this is it. This is the day. Martin hooked me up with a couple of guys that are willing to take me out. So hopefully, today, I'm catching a sailfish on a handline. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿cómo está?
Tranquilo, amigo.
Todo bien, todo vamos muy bien.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo te llamas? Arturo. Encantado, Cyril.
Arturo and Freddy are considered the best sailfish handliners around. With these guys, it's just a matter of time before I get to catch a billfish just like in the Old Man and the Sea. Even if we're just getting out of the bay, I can't wait to get a line in the water. And it doesn't take long before I get some action.
Todo bonita.
Sí, ¿eh?
Sí, ¿qué viene?
Aquí está. La comida. All right, we got dinner. Oh, check this out. Look at that. That's exactly the situation that he was describing me. One of the elders from the village the other day.
La línea sigue roto cuando me está. Y yo desesperado. Y el motor acá. Y ni una cosa ni otra.
There was a lot of coils of line on the bottom of the boat here on the floor. That's exactly what just happened to me. Imagine if my bait was in the water right now. I get a hit, I get all tangled up, and I go overboard.
All right, time to head out towards the deep sea, the pelagic predators' hunting grounds.
All right, today I'm catching a sailfish on a handline.
We're getting close to sailfish territory, so to get their attention, Arturo and Freddy put some hookless teasers in the water.
And now, the essential part, the line, the hand line. It's not much at all, let me tell you. It's just a lot of line on the spool and a hook. That's it, and obviously, that's the main tool. But this time I didn't forget my my gloves. Let me tell you, if we get some action, it's gonna burn. I'm gonna feel the burn. These guys have felt it before. ¿Y tú te falta dedo? No, no mire, ¿no? No te falta nada. No, tranquilo. Dicen los ahí que es peligroso, pero no es tan peligroso, ¿sí? Pues a veces sí. Sí, ¿eh?
Arturo explains to me the different dangers between a small and a big line. One thing's for sure, if something goes wrong, things won't be pretty.
And the thinner the line, the more likely you get to get cut. The fish is pulling a lot of pressure, so that line will go right through your finger. But eventually it'll break because it's less, resistant than a thicker line. A thicker line will not necessarily cut you, but if you get cut up, like tangle up around your finger or your hand, the problem is that it won't break. And what happened is that you lose a finger or you're worse, you could possibly lose a hand. I doubt it would happen, but you're pretty dangerous.
So you know what? I'm not gonna take any chances.
All right. I know I'm sporting a little Rambo style here, but if stuff starts to hit the fan, you're pretty happy you have that, I'm telling you.
The conditions are perfect, but the heat is brutal. And we've been trolling for hours. It really seems like we're gonna strike out. But suddenly, we spot what we're looking for.
Allá va, allá. Mira, toma esta línea, esta tiene mucha cuerda, mucha línea, esta tiene mucha línea. Sí.
It's pretty rare to see a sailfish with a dorsal fin out of the water like that. This is my shot. I have to move fast.
My gloves got caught up in the line.
I throw again as fast as I can. But it's too late. The sailfish is too far. I feel like an idiot. I just messed up the only chance we've had all day.
Ok, Cyril. Ni modo, lo siento mucho. No fue un día de mucha suerte, muy poca suerte.
Eso es la pesca,
Es la
amigo.
pesca.
Sí.
Es la pesca. Es lo que la hace excitante. Bueno, pues así.
The guys are really cool, and they want to help me live this traditional fishing experience. So they come up with another plan.
Está alejada.
All right, well, at least there's a plan B, and plan B sounds pretty good, because what he was saying is that there's another beach that they know that we can spend the night at, and leave from there to some better, more remote spots for sailfish, apparently, because here there's a lot of pressure. We're pretty close to town, and they were saying it's not the best fishing waters here for sailfish.
So we're going to sleep on a beach and leave from there tomorrow morning to get to a better spot, and hopefully catch a monster sailfish.
Look at this spot, it's a beautiful beach.
Freddy prepares the skipjack that I caught earlier. Meanwhile, I dive in to help Arturo properly anchor the boat, so the waves don't push it into the rocks during high tide at night. Now, we just need to set up camp, and then it's dinner time. Or I guess I should say snack time, since we only have one small fish for everyone.
Aquí está. ¿Sí pasó el test contigo?
Está todo bien. Tequila va.
Tequila ahora. All right. Gotta take care of my Mexican friends here. Oof, that's gonna hurt. Freddy! Buena tequila.
Sí.
A ver.
Bonita steak or skipjack steak. That's gonna be pretty good. A lot of people consider this fish trash fish, but I tell you one thing, it's pretty tasty. It's the same family as tuna, so tastes pretty much the same. ¿Cuál es la luz que vemos ahí?
Aquella.
Sí. El mapa.
Están sacando carnada.
Pescadores de carnada.
Pescadores. Those guys that we're seeing out there, they're commercial fishermen. They're fishing for bait fish. Little fish like this that can be used for any kind of fishing, but are really, really good for sailfish. We're gonna go pay these guys a visit, especially because they're fishing with handline, so it can be a lot of fun catching a few fish with a handline, getting some practice for hopefully catching a sailfish tomorrow. Hola amigos, ¿cómo está la cosa?
Bueno, más o menos la pesca.
Más o menos.
The fisherman is a really nice guy, and he even offers me one of his lines so I can catch myself some bait.
Buena pesca eso. 4. ¿Cuánto quieres? ¿Cuántos quieres? Buena pesca. Ese, bueno, buena carnada.
I would stay here and fish all night, but it's time for us to get back to shore and get some sleep, because tomorrow is going to be a big day. It's my last day in Mexico, and even if yesterday was a total fail in terms of fishing, today I'm more psyched than ever.
Hoy es el día.
Hoy es el día, claro. Hoy sí.
We head out towards the secret spot, and the guys are convinced that this will be the spot where I'll catch a sailfish. And we even have some great bait fish that I caught last night.
Buena vibra ahorita.
Sí, buena vibración. ¿Lo sientes? ¿Se siente que viene el velo?
Ahora sí nos vamos a... Ahora sí.
All right, today is the day. We're getting really far from the town of Zihuatanejo. And what that means is that, in theory, we're getting to some areas that have almost zero commercial fishing pressure whatsoever.
On my last trip to Guatemala, I witnessed firsthand just how damaging commercial fishing can be, especially when they use long lines.
That's pretty sad. It's mainly the product of bycatch, on long lines. It catches anything that's out there, really, because it's baited hooks. It's a bunch of baited hooks on the line, and whatever's around will take it. So mainly Dorado, obviously, but shark and sailfish.
Arturo and Freddie are convinced that I'm gonna land a sailfish around here. I hope they're right, because today, my last chance. We've been trolling in the area with no teasers for about 20 minutes. When finally...
This is it, the old man in the sea.
Cuidado, cuidado.
You see, just before they jump out of the water, they take off on a run.
Cuidado.
Es muy peligroso.
Sí, ya tenemos uno.
Told you it was better fishing around here.
Yes. Yes, we're seeing it. Here we go. Sailfish on the headline.
Just when I think the fight is over, the fish goes for another run. My wrist gets caught by the line. I have to follow the sailfish so the line doesn't cut through my flesh. I managed to get the line off my wrist, but I get caught again.
Tengo a la niña pegada en el pie.
Viene. Con cuidado.
Listo, tengo en el pie.
Saltar con el pico.
Aguas, cuidado.
That's it, I'm free. But I gotta keep tension on the line to control the sailfish so I don't get tangled again. Or worse, stabbed.
Cuidado.
Yes, sailfish on the handline. You old man in the sea style.
Now we're gonna unhook it so we can release it as fast as possible.
Un poco de miedo tuve, yo preocupado cuando saltó. Brincó y saltó cerca de ti, muy preocupado, un poco de miedo.
Sí.
Pero todo bien.
Now I'm reviving the fish before I let it go, and the idea to do this is to have the boat in gear going very slowly to get water to flow through its mouth and out its gills. And as soon as I feel that the fish is kicking and ready to go, I'll let it go. But I just hope that the same story that happened to Santiago, the old man in The Old Man in the Sea, is not gonna happen to me right now, because this marlin that he was bringing back to the village got devoured by sharks. I was towing the fish alongside the boat, So right now it's just not a good position to be in where I am. Bueno, Olvera se fue.
Buena captura. Felicidades, amigo. Lo hiciste.
Pescador más en Zihuatanejo.
Pescador.
Pescador, ¿cómo lo está ahí?
I came to Zihuatanejo, Mexico, to live the experience of the old man in the sea by catching a billfish on a handline. Things were not easy, and at times it seemed like everything was against me. I wanted to fish like the locals do, and I did.
Esto que vemos aquí es como un cuchillo.
In the end, I finally managed to catch a sailfish on a handline. The Pacific sailfish is an amazing fighter.
Yes.
Things were complicated and risky, especially when the line wrapped around my wrist and I got pulled overboard. It wasn't the safest situation to be in, but at least nothing happened to me.
Yes. Sailfish on a handline.
I got lucky, and I still have all my fingers. Plus, I met a couple of friends. The next time I read Hemingway's epic story, I remember every second of this amazing adventure.
Hey, Cyril, I think you got a scorpion on your shirt.
Yeah, he's my buddy, man.
And with this, kills everything. You need a little bit of a bacteria, gone.
A ver.